Speaking of which, Brian Stallings is here from Elevate Branson for our every other Monday throwdown. How in the world are you, sir?
I am better than I deserve.
Oh, son, I heard that. So, how did your big dedication go?
I don't think it could have gone any better, Josh.
Awesome.
It was great weather, great day. God blessed us with some sunshine and some beautiful weather, and we had, of course, KRZK's own Master of Ceremonies, Steve Willoughby.
No big deal, just a Willoughby.
Yeah, and so we had, Representative Brian Seitz, and we had Daniel Seitz, who's Chief of Staff for Senator Hudson, because, of course, they were back in session. And then we had Christina Carver from CDBG. We had Mayor Milton there. We had really cool. We had Father Jay from Our Lady of the Lake Catholic Church and his bishop from Springfield and Cape Girardeau, who did a house and ground blessing for us.
That's pretty awesome.
And then my favorite part was we got to dedicate a tree planting for Jack and Sherry Hershen. So,
oh, dude, that is so awesome.
That was pretty cool.
So, Brian, let me ask you a question. This tiny home community is something that you guys have been working on for about half a decade at this point. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like, yeah, it's like the last 5 years. But once the ball started rolling, it really started rolling. I know that you're a little relieved. I know that you're very happy to see how things are progressing. How cool is it to see all these people show up to help you celebrate and honor how far you guys have gotten?
Yeah, it was amazing to see the community support. Of course, this project has had hundreds and hundreds of hands in it. So, sometimes they look at Elevate as, Elevate or Brian and Amy, and really it's been hundreds of people. So all the way from CDBG to Southwest Missouri Council of Governments, who's the grant administrator, to the tons of staff at the city of Branson. I mean, there's been lots and lots of people working on this. Of course, our wonderful supporters and partners and donors on sponsors of houses and just literally, Josh, hundreds of people. So when they say it takes a village, it truly takes a village to create a village.
It really does. And fortunately for you, you've got some great staff over there.
We do. We have a tremendous team at Elevate.
Speaking of those teams, I saw Mr. Hunter last week easing around a couple of different places, right? It's always good to see him out and about, man. It's good to have a presence in the community.
Absolutely.
It totally is. So as far as summertime at Elevate, you guys still have some programs, not as busy like as during the year. How does the construction and everything going on at the tiny home affect what goes on at Elevate?
It really won't affect us at all. We kick off summer school today. So we partner with Branson Schools, so the kiddos who maybe don't have transportation to get to Branson can come to Elevate, and we go and pick them up and take them home and do a lot of the same programming the school does. So that kicks off today. During that, we're actually going to have a kids entrepreneur program. So they're going to get to have a project here at the end of the next couple months that they'll roll out. And we're also looking at having a training program for teaching some trades during the summertime. So we'll still have programs and services going on. Of course, it's always a good time to shop at the thrift store, and that helps support our mission when you shop local there. And all of that merchandise is really just the generosity of the community donating items to us. So things just keep hopping.
That's great, man. I mean, it really is to see you guys sort of came up with a mission and decided this is what we're going to do, and you accomplish one goal, and you're like, oh, okay, well, we got that done. Now let's do these next 2 or 3 things, and those 2 or 3 things get done, and then you do that. I mean, so much so that you guys are expanding. There's Elevates in other communities, which is awesome.
It is.
It really, really is a good thing. Now, this tiny home community, what's the timeline looking like? When are you guys going to be all right, obviously we're talking about years for you to be quote unquote done.
Sure.
Like done with the whole thing. But as far as like moving folks in and getting stuff set up, about how far are we?
Yeah, we're probably still at the end of the year, first part of next year, because the contractor actually has a full year to get all their work done, and then we have to come behind them and set houses and things like that. So it'll kind of just depend on where construction's at later in the year. That now they're ahead of schedule, so we could easily see late fall.
Oh, okay. All right. You got something planned for that, Brian?
Well, not yet. Not until I have a more definitive timeline.
That's good stuff. So, Brian Stallings here from Elevate Branson. They just had their ground dedication because you couldn't really call it a groundbreaking.
It was kind of ground broken.
Yeah, ground's been broken for a while. It really has. What's the feedback been like? What have you heard from people in the community who maybe just heard or read about what was going on over there, but the folks that actually came out and could see with their own eyes what you guys are trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think that's the key right there. I think seeing it now, seeing construction happening, seeing tiny houses. We have 6 tiny houses over there right now. I think that makes people see that it's a reality, that it's happening. You know, for a long time we hit a lot of roadblocks and there wasn't much movement. And I think people kind of were questioning, you know, typical Branson, right? You make big announcement and then nothing happens. And so I think people were questioning whether anything was going to happen, but it was just a lot of behind the scenes work to keep pushing forward. And of course, you know, it couldn't happen without our tiny house partners and sponsors. And so in our first phase, we have 48 homes that'll go in there, Josh. And we have 30 of those homes that have already been sponsored or partners for those homes. And so we still need another 18 to kind of get this project across the finish line, or get the first phase across the finish line. So if somebody's interested in how they can put their name on a house, and or, you know, one of the things that people may not realize is that you can come together with a group of friends or a church group or something and do a house together. But what the cool thing is about that is then you can have a care team for the resident there at that house. And so let's say your church small group wants to do a house together. Well, now they can befriend the person that lives there and mentor them and kind of help, you know, just be their friend. And what a great opportunity that is.
A great opportunity. That's what you guys are all about, like fostering that spirit of community. And you know, if you can get together, if you have the ways and means and you can get together and sponsor a house and make a new friend, I mean, not only will that help you as a person, right, fulfill our basic need to help other people, but you have no idea the difference you're going to make in the life of someone, because everybody's got their own stuff going on.
Exactly.
Everybody's got their own story and whatnot, and you don't really know what is going on until you actually sit down and talk to one of these people.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
And sometimes we look at other people through the lens we were raised, right? And so if you were raised with a mentor or a coach or a teacher or a parent that invested in you, sometimes we look at people like they had that. And oftentimes I found that they didn't have that. So they don't know what they don't know. So for instance, Arvis Bank is one of our sponsors. Well, we have several banks that are sponsors. Bank of Missouri, Arvis Bank, Table Rock Community Bank. And so, you know, 99% of the people that live in the village will have never had a bank account before. And so here's an opportunity. Their employees are part of that care team, can come around and mentor somebody and help them understand about having a debit card and how to use that responsibly and having an account and things.
Well, and that's something that you got, you know, you guys look at Elevate Work, you know, where you train up locals to be better employees.
Exactly.
You know, you're all about making the community better, empowering the community. That's exactly right. Talk to me a little bit about Elevate Rides.
Yeah.
Brian, how's it going?
So we are in full swing right now. Of course, it's springtime or summertime now, I guess it is. And so the weather's great. And if you need transportation to get to and from your job, we have got the solution for you. We've got Elevate Rides, which we have 2 programs. One is a rental program, so you can actually rent a moped or a scooter, as we call it, and use that for work. And there's no long-term commitment. It's week by week. And then we have an ownership program where you can actually buy a scooter, and it's turnkey. It includes all your maintenance, insurance, and everything. It's less than $6 a day.
That is crazy. Less than $6 a day. And you're looking at like $6 a week to run this bad boy, like 80 miles to the gallon.
89 miles to the gallon. And
that's so awesome.
You know,
dude.
one Uber ride is $20.
100%.
So, I mean, this is such a great deal.
And plus, you know, you don't have to wait for anybody. You can hop on. That's one of the things. We're having auto issues right now. We're down to 1 car right now. And it is not ideal It is not ideal to have one car for two folks. I can't imagine having 0 cars and being by myself. Again, another reason why you guys have been here as long as you have and why you keep growing.
Yeah. We're just trying to meet those needs of the community. We've seen people that were getting less than 20 hours a week because they were inconsistent on getting to work because they didn't have transportation. And once they've gotten transportation, they've gotten more hours, they've gotten more responsibilities, which then leads to more money, which then allows you to start climbing the economic ladder.
That's exactly right. And you can find out all the information you need at elevatebranson.org. How can folks go about finding out more information either to sponsor or try to see about getting one of those tiny houses?
Yeah, so everything's on our website at elevatebranson.org. Just click on the What We Do tab, and then you go down to affordable housing. And then there's information about sponsoring. There's also an application if you wanted to apply for a tiny house. I will say we have over 200 applicants right now.
Wow.
But I wouldn't hesitate from putting your application in because, we're still looking at 6 months and people move and people's situations change. And so there's always an opportunity to get your application selected.
That's right. And you never know.
Never know.
You never know. Brian Solomon from Elevate Branson here on an every other Monday. So we're going to shift